Hi, so welcome to the next square of the 50 stitches crochet along, and this week we're doing the loop stitch. Now don't worry if you don't like all these loops. If you cut the top of each loop, that turns this into the first stitch. So it's popular with amigurumi, as it can make some fabulous fur for the animals. But it's just, I think it's a fabulous looking stitch. It's very tactile. So it'd be brilliant if you were crocheting rugs and things like that. So it's one-sided, all the loops are on one side. I'm going to create this lovely thick fabric so there's no holes coming through on the other. And it's one of those you just can't help touching. It's a brilliant looking stitch. Okay, so how do we do it? We're going to start by chaining 31 with a 3.5mm hook, and then our first row is all going to be single crochet. So remember that turning chain counts as a stitch, and you'll have 30 stitches in total. And I'll just finish this last row single crochet. Now, creating the loops, we have to crochet a little differently to how we used to. And it's going to take a bit of practice to get this right. Okay, so at the end of your single crochet row, you want to chain one and then single crochet into the first stitch. I'm just going to pop a stitch marker in there. Okay, so now we need to get to our loops. So the way this works is that you need to create a loop by wrapping the yarn around your fingers. Now, because of the way I hold my yarn anyway, which is like this, I can just use this to create my loop. Depending on what you do, you might need to wrap it round 2 fingers. I'd say 2 fingers rather than 1, just so you can get a nice thick loop. You should also be aware this is a really big yarn eater. I used nearly a full 50-gram ball to create this square. So yeah, you might have to play around with how you create the loops with your fingers, but once you settle on a method, stick to it. And it's a bit awkward at first, but it does. You do settle into a rhythm when you get used to it. And so all you do is you're just pulling through those loops and then complete the stitch. So you're going to end up with 3 loops on your hook to complete. So it ends up slightly bigger than a normal single crochet, but bear in there, practice, and it will come. So insert your hook into the next stitch as you would normally, but we need to bring both ends of the loop onto a hook. So I'm just going to wrap the right hand strand there so it's on the top of my hook. I'm going to go over and catch the other side as well, and I'm going to bring both loops through the stitch. So you've got your original loop here. Did I yarn over? No, my yarn's just split, it's okay. So you've got 1 loop here and 2 loops here. And let go of your loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, and your loops will be created on the opposite side. So they're all forming there. And if you create your loops the same way each time, your loops will be a similar size and all have a nice consistent look. So again, hook through the next stitch, wrap it round that loop, bring over, catch the other side as well, and bring both strands of yarn through your stitch, let go of the loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so if I turn over, you can see you're getting this, it looks like you've wrapped the yarn around several times. There's your, from the extra loop that's coming through, and then the loop at the bottom. So it's nice and tight, there's no holes. If you just pull loops through in a normal way with a single crochet, you'll end up with lots of holes. This way you end up with a nice tight fabric, no holes, and especially if you use it for amigurumis, it means you can stuff it without the stuffing showing. And so we're just going to do this through across the entire row. It can be a bit slow going, but once you get into a rhythm, it's not difficult. It's just getting used to it. That's the difficult part. So hook through the next stitch, wrap around the yarn on the right side, then go and catch the yarn on the left, pull through both strands. So you've got one loop on your hook over here, two loops here, and then you just yarn over and pull through all three loops. And that just keeps it nice and tight. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on down this row. Okay. Oops, it helps if I go into a stitch first, doesn't it? So we're going to be doing 24 rows in total for this square. And you're going to alternate between a row of loops and a row of single crochet, and that makes sure that all the loops stay on one side. So you start with a row of single crochet and you'll end with a row of loops. And more yarn. Now for your border, oh dear, what have I done there? I've gone to row the first single crochet. Oh, I don't know. I've gone right below. Yep. You can tell I'm good at multitasking, can't you? Right, let's try that one again. Dear. Go through there. Right, for the border, as I was saying, you're going to need to make 2 single crochet in some rows, so we can get to the count we need. So I'll put this in the description just so you've got it, but dear. So in most rows you're going to just do 1 single crochet, but in row 1, 5, 10, 15, 20 and 24 you need to make 2 single crochet into the side of each row, and as always along top and bottom you just do 1 single crochet. And that is that. So once you get into a rhythm it's really not that bad, but it can take a bit of practice to begin with, just to sort out how you want to form those loops and how you're happy holding the yarn. It's a bit of a different way to make stitches, but it will come. And your loops will be nice and secure with that nice thick fabric at the back. So beginning and end of each row of loops you will always have a single crochet before starting your loops. Yep, more yarn. But yeah, as you can see there's lots of loops, so this is a real yarn eater. You're going to go through quite a bit. I don't think there's any other stitch in the cowl that eats yarn quite like this. There we go. Almost at the end. But you can see it's a great looking stitch. I love these rows at the top as well. I love how they form. Not that you see them once all the loops are on, but they're nice and secure, they're not going anywhere. And you love lovely thick fabric at the back. So it would be great if you crocheted a rucker with this. Lovely and thick underneath. So I'm just going to finish this row. But then after this you would do a row of single crochet. So just single crochet loops, single crochet rows. And that's all there is to it. Once you find your rhythm, you'll be absolutely fine. But don't worry if it takes a little bit of time to get used to it. It took me a bit of time to get my head around this one, because it's kind of a different way of holding yarn. Come here. There we go. But I think the result is well worth the effort. Stitch marker get in the way there. And last stitch is a single crochet into the top of that turning chain. It decides to go in, there we go. And then just chain one, turn, then chain one, and then your row of single crochet. And that is the loop stitch. Let's pop a stitch marker back in there. So your loops are always made on the opposite side. So that's the back and that's the front. So your single crochet rows will always have the loops facing you, and you'll make the loops with the loops behind you. And that is it. So you end up with this lovely shaggy pile by the end. Oops. Lovely thick fabric. And there you go, you can see those lovely rows in between. So if you don't like the loops, you can cut them. Just cut the tops through each row, and that will be the first stitch. Once it's cut, keep a hole with the loop stitch. And there you go. So I hope you enjoy. As always, if you need any help, come over to the Facebook group. The link is in the description of the video. I'm always happy to help with any questions you have. And of course, come and show us your fabulous squares. So please do come on over. I hope you like it, and I will see you for the next square. Bye for now.